Hello, and welcome back to the long-awaited return of my podcast, Mixed Feelings with Kira Bria, where I yap about culture, my life, and whatever is on my brain, what I'm watching, what I'm reading, etc., so on and so forth. I used to do this in pandemic times more so, and then once life got into real life again and I have a job, I work. As much as when people disagree with me, the comments are like, I have a job, what does this mean? Anyways, I'll get to my Shaq and Angel Reese thoughts and my TikTok that I made that has 1.6 million views right now. Well, I am trying to be consistent with this podcast. I am trying to be consistent with YouTube. Today, I started a Substack, which I will link in the description, ? I'm saying question mark because I have to figure out how to do that. I've been wanting to use a Substack for a while. Honestly, okay, so I had a tarot reading this weekend. Because if you've been watching my YouTube channel, you will know that I recently had a very traumatic friendship betrayal, Shakespearean betrayal, and friendship breakup that has been very all-consuming it was all-consuming, and then there were other things that have also happened. Like, there's so many. It's been quite a year for me, and I think lots of people can relate to. I don't care if you're into astrology or not. I think I'm gonna yap about it because it's useful to me in this moment. I've been seeing the astrology girlies saying it's end of a 16-year cycle right now. So, like, a lot of things that I guess were traumatizing to me regarding feeling like rejected by two white girls that I thought were my friends. Feeling judged rather than compassion. Feeling like I can never truly be vulnerable with people. Feeling like I don't deserve closeness and I don't deserve true community. Feeling like alone. All of these things that maybe when I can't remember because I didn't have frickin' TikTok and YouTube and all the things where I can literally go back and look at the receipts of the date and time of how I was feeling when. Didn't have that when I was 10. Ooh, that rhymed. I wasn't a big journaler either. Like, I always had a journal. But I really do wish I kept like a serious Dear Diary journal when I was 10, so I could go back and like be like, wow, what was really happening? But I remember I think a lot about like this sort of predominantly white environment effect of like on the POC psyche of like growing up just not ever represented and being very used to that and knowing how to navigate in those environments very well and perform highly. But then it's like, because of that, people don't ever let you be off. And I was also thinking about how, like, with this particular friendship, I was like, I said this to my friend yesterday. I was like, I think they don't know how to not be the worst feeling people in the room. And I was thinking about that and I was like, damn, that's been true for a lot of my relationships, friendships. When I need the space to be the heavy one, they're like, whoa, oh my God, how dare you have a sad day because you're getting like virtually harassed by all of these men on the internet. Yeah, that can be overwhelming. And the things that come out of people's mouths when you are biracial Black woman on the internet, the things that get said to you in your DMs and in your comments, like the mud of it all and the things like that are really just like kind of gross and nasty. I'm allowed to need some time to process that, and you are a dick for not letting me and for making it about you. You are, and you know, I don't wanna be a bitch that's like my therapist said so. Now that I'm in therapy, I don't wanna be a my therapist said so bitch, but maybe I am. I don't know. Whatever. It's just like, but it's also this whole 16-year cycle. It's like, yeah, when I'm looking back at it, it's like, what does this predominantly white environment, and then when I also feel like I have a lot of responsibility to be great for a million reasons, one of them being I'm an only child to a single mother. Then there's stuff with my dad right now that I'm not going to get into right this second, because I can't trauma dump so much in the first 5 minutes of the podcast after researching for so long. But my tarot reader said that I need an outlet. That's where I was going. Well, it wasn't just that. That's really oversimplified. But okay, so she was kind of, I didn't tell her anything about the friendship situation, but she's really good. I went back to her because I went to her a few years ago, the day after a breakup, and she knew immediately. I hadn't posted anything about it anywhere. I hadn't really even told anyone, and she really went off. She really did her thing. But yeah, so she could feel it right away, and she basically was saying, you are picking up different pieces of this situation that are shards of broken glass, and you're re-injuring yourself every single time, and there's only one way to look at it, and it is through the lens of creation. You need to create your way out of this. You need to be writing, you need to be making songs, like dancing, things like that. And she said, but right now it's feeling like you can't, because you're paralyzed by the situation, because you keep looking at it and you keep just picking up these shards of glass and like re-injuring yourself, and it's keeping you stuck in this situation where and it's like not all of your creative energy is going to die there. And it's so dead on true. Like it's starting, I think day by day it is starting to get better, but I don't want to like I don't want to overstate the progress. I'm always scared of overstating anything. That's just not my thing, but I do think I'm starting to feel better for sure, because like my other friendships have continued to be really fulfilling. But I think the 2 months after it happened, it might be like 2.5 months now since it's happened, but I would say the 2 months after it happened, it was very all-consuming. Like I was thinking about it so much. It was the first thing that I was thinking about when I woke up at night, like just because there's so many different layers to it too, and it wasn't just one thing that happened. It was like, again, probably over the process of a month or a couple months that different things had happened leading up to it. Anyway, like I just have issues forgiving myself, when this is like so many things are coming up from, I guess, my past of like, there are things that I could have done in so many situations, like friendship wise or like PWI wise throughout my life, that would maybe make me be perceived more palatably or make me make more sense to people. And I think because that is my obstacle, and this is the obstacle course of the matrix that I'm in, I do hold myself really accountable for that. Of, okay, well, I had a bad day around the wrong people, and it caused me a lot of grief, and it caused me this and that, and I really wish I didn't do that. But I wish I didn't do that. Well, I wish I didn't do. Okay, well, I did though, and I needed to, and I needed that space, and you couldn't let me have that after all the space I've given you to be the heaviest person in the room emotionally, and have the worst mood, and be kind of wrecking the vibe for everyone else. But I don't make it a big thing. I hope you're okay, because that's what friendship is supposed to be. But to let it be manipulated and then put through your lens of your white experience, and that must be what it's like because this is how it was for me. Meanwhile, I'm dealing with actually thousands of disrespectful, misogynistic, racist comments, messages, videos. You don't know what that's like, and to put it in your little box of understanding is just, it was so easy to not do that. But that's the choice you made, and I chose to have I didn't choose to, have an emotional moment around my friends, and like I did choose to actually separate myself and go sit in the water and cry, which I thought was a good move, but I was very judged for that, so whatever. But to dwell on it and to let all of my creativity go to die there is not something that I want to do. And I know that action is like the death of anxiety or something. I don't know. Anxiety is killed by action. There's like a quote about that or something, or maybe I saw it on TikTok. So I definitely need to get on my Zoom in regards to my podcast, Substack, long form YouTube videos. I think my main thing recently has been TikToks because it's just what it has been, but long form, more nurturing content for my mind and for my babble and for my yap is good for me. And I am not trying to start any beef, but this is an outlet for me, so yeah. Okay, let's take an intermission from the personal stuff so that you don't think that this is all gonna be really annoying, okay? Because I am a pop culture fiend. Is that appropriate? Maybe. Yeah, probably. So, okay, Shaq and Angel Reese. I made a video about it, which is on here. I have a lot of, like, weird, hateful man comments right now on here. I don't know why. But I hope I get off their algorithm soon. When I say on here, I'm talking to YouTube, not podcast, because I am posting this on both, by the way. Always, I'll do that. And I'll link it in my Substack, because I think you can do that also. Stick with me while I figure things out. So, if you didn't see the interview, Shaq and Angel Reese, who apparently are both LSU graduates, and that's part of, like, how they connected, and he became sort of a father figure for her. And apparently, like, he walked her down this important, like, basketball wedding, okay? And I'm saying that in the sense of, like, in a wedding, like, normally your dad or, like, your mom, I guess, would walk you down the aisle. And so whatever this equivalent was, it was Shaq, okay? Like, it should have been a parent, but it was Shaq. So she sees him as a father figure. They're having this interview talking about, like, because apparently Angel Reese can't, like, actually live off her basketball rate. Like, salary, it's like 30,000. I don't know. That might be wrong, but it's not a lot. Maybe it's 70. Okay. Like, it's something that is like, to be Angel Reese, you should not be making that to do what you're doing. And he was saying they should lower the rim because girls should be able to dunk. And then he said you should wear those little booty shorts that you wore on Wild 'N Out. Imagine how many t-shirts you would sell. And it came off very creepy and sexualizing her. And she also was very uncomfortable, and she was like, okay. Or she said something that was like, she's had enough. You could very much tell she was uncomfortable. And she was verbally saying, oh, all right, or like, okay, whatever she was saying, it was trying to keep him at bay, and he persisted, okay? Clearly she's uncomfortable. Clearly he doesn't care about that in this situation. Also, there was a different part in the interview where she asked, what was your first impression of me? And he said, well, first of all, you're very beautiful. So Angel Reese is younger than some of his kids. And just the whole father figure of it all. And you could tell that she looks up to him as a father figure, and she wants him to just be a mentor. She does not want to feel sexualized by this man, specifically in this context where they're talking about work and they're talking about her wage. And the men in the comments are saying, okay, well, she wore these booty shorts. She can't expect to not have it be talked about. Women need to understand that if they wear these things, they're going to be spoken about in this way. What's wrong with him calling her beautiful? All of these things. And it's like, you should not feel preyed upon by your mentor. You should be able to feel that certain spaces are safe and free of that. And when she said, what was your first impression of me? I'm pretty sure she was talking about basketball. Pretty sure she was talking about as a player. And it's like the fact that she is such a serious athlete, and it just can't be taken seriously by this person who like built her up and has like co-signed her, and he's making the whole conversation into sort of a joke. and sort of a gag and sort of a disrespectful nod at the fact that she will never be fully taken seriously because she is a woman. And why don't you try? Honestly, I was on Substack today and I saw, like, I was just looking up random stuff, and a guy had written a newsletter saying Angel Reese should start an OnlyFans. And it was like, she's complaining about not making enough money. Why does she not just start an OnlyFans? And it's like, the fact that that notion is not understood as such a massive disrespect to everything that she's worked for. I don't know, like, why can't they understand that? Why? I don't know how to, like, make that into a metaphor that would make sense to them, and I don't want to try, because I think you can hurt your brain sometimes when you try to speak the language of the stupid. That's just my opinion. And I don't know, there's some comments in my comment section saying that he is very close to Diddy, allegedly. Somebody said they both have 50 plus foot beds, or beds that can fit 50 plus people. Is that the same thing? I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't know, but I think that it's telling when somebody is comfortable speaking like that on camera in 2024, knowing that it's going places. Because what happens when the camera is off? That is always the question. Especially between them two, because like Angel Reese and Shaq are probably alone together enough that I would worry about what else he said to her, and if she's like, how she deflects and how she feels about that, and how taxing that is to her. Because it is very disheartening that because she's a woman and everything she's worked for, and like she's looking up to this mentor, and then it's like, oh, you don't take me seriously, huh? It's like Elle Woods, or somebody said Starlight in the Deep, which is like the Boys reference. I don't know. I think it's really heartbreaking for her, and I can imagine just how awful that must feel for her to look up to someone, and then he's like, oh, you should wear those booty shorts though. That's how you'll make money. That's the only way you'll make money doing this. I hate it. Okay, switching topics. Tell Me Lies. Tell Me Lies. Have you watched Tell Me Lies? People did not make a big enough deal about how good this show was, in my opinion. I thought, I turned it on, and at first I was like, okay, I don't like the Steven guy. I don't like these vibes. I don't like this party. I don't like this dialogue. It's too sex heavy. And then there was so much just like, oh my gosh, they're just always going at it, which at first I was like, it's a little gratuitous. But as it continued on, they started to only use it for a reason, like if something really was, the plot was moving with it. At first it felt like, okay, I don't care. I don't really care this much to see this. But the plot is insane. It's the only show right now that makes me fully pay attention, and if I don't pay attention, I really do have to rewind. So I'm not going to spoil anything for you. I'm on season 2, like episode 4. But the reason I like it is because, okay, first of all, Lucy reminds me, or her name's Grace Van Houten, right? She reminds me of Shailene Woodley so bad. And I recently realized that like Shailene Woodley and like that look of people, they're always cast as like salacious women, which I didn't really understand. But when you think about it, think about Shailene Woodley. Secret Life of the American Teenager. White Bird in a Blizzard. Okay, Divergent is a divergence from what I'm saying here, because she was in Amity and she was very chaste and abstinent and religious. Good movie though. Great book. One of my favorite books of those eras. But she was just in this movie called Three Women, or this show called Three Women, where she plays like a glorified, I don't know, woman of the night in some way, I guess. Also Big Little Lies, like single mother. Everybody's looking down on her. She's never played like a respected, I'm thinking of The Spectacular now. No, in that one she was a nerd. Kinda, or like an outcast, right? And that one didn't make as much sense, because I was like, she's kind of like really beautiful for this. So anyways, I see Grace Van Houten in the same way that they have, like, she's lanky blonde. It's a little bit like, damn, is she like made in a lab? You know what I mean? Her and Steven, to me, Stevens, and I don't know his real name, and they're dating in real life. He's probably more charismatic in real life because his character is like a psychopath. Let me not use that word lightly, but he's, I don't know. And this is part of the dialogue. They're like, is he just dangerous? Or is he just an asshole? Or is he dangerous? A little bit Nate Jacobs-y. Without the looks. Which makes it a little more real. If that makes sense. Because, like, I don't know. Everybody has a Steven. I remember my Steven, his name was Kevin. Everybody, and in so many ways, oh my gosh, and it hurts to think about, so I'm not going to, but I love this, like, kind of realistic thing of, like, he's not like the most attractive guy, but he's ruining her life and she's letting him. He is compelling, though, and he does have a nice voice. And sometimes he says the right things, and he's very manipulative. But the reason I like the show is every character is compelling. Like, I'm interested in every single character's story. Diana, Pippa. I don't want to give the spoilers right now because I don't know where you are, and I'm just telling you to watch it. But I will do, like, a deep dive on it later. I'm just saying every single character, even Bree, like, I'm interested in their side quests. Evan, every single character, I'm like, I actually enjoy your story. There's nobody that I'm annoyed by. And nobody that I'm like, okay, less airtime. So watch Tell Me Lies for the relationship lore. In regards to books, right now I'm reading this book called Perfume and Pain by Anna Dorn. Highly recommend. One of my favorite books that I've read this year. I bought it at an actual bookstore and it caught my eye because it's pink. And it's called Perfume and Pain, which is a lit title. I'm only on page like 80, but it's very sapphic, it's funny, it's pop culture-y. I think it's hard to do pop culture well in a book. And when it's done well in a way that I'm like, haha, that's funny. That was a funny point. That was a funny use of a reference of Kanye West Sunday Service. I think I want to write a book like that one day. So it's very inspirational to me, this like pop culture, but also very like woman. I love this woman figuring herself out at all costs genre. That's probably my genre. Like Lester. I want to say Bunny, but Bunny's also like a different world. And if you haven't read Bunny, you should, but get ready. You can't, go into it without knowing what it is. But just be open-minded. It gets a little wild. Yeah, Perfume and Pain. I will keep you updated. But she's like a lesbian writer. She just got canceled. And she just moved next door to another lesbian who she finds really annoying, but I'm sure that they're going to get involved. Also, she's chatting online with this younger lady because she's like in her like 40s or something. I don't know. They describe her look sort of like Jessa from Girls in her 40s. Anyways, it's very funny. Highly recommend. I think that's all I have to say right now. Yeah, I hope I can get into the groove of this and be consistent again because it was fun when I did it before. And then I lost my rhythm. But here I am yapping away, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Thank you so much for listening. I will link my Substack and all the things in the description. You know where to find me, at Kira Bria on all the things, and I will talk to you soon.